My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beauty focused EOU. Ooh, I'd leave it all.
Hi, my name is Caroline Avery, and I'm a junior at WashU.
And my name is Gabby Reek, and I'm a senior here at WashU.
After a group trip to a power plant one day, the whole group had the opportunity to spend the afternoon together and bond over a Segway tour and lunch. The Segway tour itself was great fun, but one of the coolest parts of the day was the group bonding we did before lunch. The team building activities that we did allowed us to put our problem-solving and leadership skills from our engineering background to work, and I really saw it bring the whole group together. The Segway tour was fun because everyone was trying not to fall and trying to ride without using our hands. And then we ended the day with a friendly frisbee golf competition and food. At lunch, we were introduced to Hungarian specialty, langosh, which was so delicious that it was a top choice for food throughout the trip.
Filled with curiosity and anticipation for our promised surprise weekend trip, the group packed our bags and boarded the train for what would become one of my personal favorite parts of our journey. Passing through the beautiful Hungarian countryside, we finally arrived to a small historic village in the Lake Balaton region and are greeted by a friendly local dressed in traditional garb. He takes us by horse-drawn wagon to a small cottage with straw roof, one of a few in the area which were built in the 1700s. This was in fact a historic cellar on fields where grapes had been growing for some 2,000 years. Another Hungarian gentleman came around, filling our glasses with wines from different decades, cultured right there by the family themselves. Some sweet, some dry, the wines had truly unique flavor, being most popular domestically for their ability to brighten that paprika-filled Hungarian cuisine. After laughing along with that Hungarian humor we all came to love, our group boarded the wagon for the next phase of the adventure. Arriving at a quaint home right in the middle of the vast green, we are welcomed by the rest of the family, dressed head to toe in intricate folk costume. The older women were selling honey, the kids practicing their horsewhip, and the men strumming the guitar and entertaining. We engage in a round, or maybe two, of Hungary's infamous palinka and make our way to a Hungarian feast. We are soon after swept onto the dance floor, and in some cases atop the tables, to swing and twirl the night away to the tune of Hungarian chant. Known as the Pince Party, this weekend was a once-in-a-lifetime experience of true immersion into Hungarian culture. I think the word that best summarizes our time would be magical.
Hi, I'm Kirby Simon and I'm a junior at WashU.
Hi, I'm Anuman Amit and I'm a sophomore at WashU.
Margaret Island was a sort of getaway destination which we visited during our stay in Budapest. Although only a short train ride away, once we were properly inside the island, it felt like we were a long while away from any hint of the city. We spent the first part of our stay grabbing a quick lunch at the street food stalls, and afterwards went on to explore different parts of the island. There was a beach and a small riding area where adults and children could ride around in bicycles and even four-wheeled bicycles. There were also a few relics to be found on the island, such as the ruins of a Franciscan and a Dominican church. Overall, there was a real sense of peace and tranquility on the island, especially around the large water fountain where we sat and watched a water display.
After visiting Margaret Island, we crossed back over the Danube to tour the Hungarian Parliament building. Despite various renovations over the years, including the recent revamping of the surrounding courtyard with new historical statues and beautiful landscaping, the building still stands as the largest and tallest building in Budapest. The Parliament building, built in the late 1800s, adopted Renaissance and Gothic architectural characteristics, which can be seen in the high levels of symmetry, high arching ceilings, and meticulous gold accenting throughout the interior. To me, the building was most beautiful at night, though, when it was the lone building lit up among the Budapest skyline. Despite the immense size of the structure, only half of it is actually used for governmental affairs, while the other half is reserved for tours like ours. Before our tour ended, we had the chance to see the inside of the Assembly Hall, which is used by the National Assembly for various meetings. After this, though, our time was up, and we departed from one of Budapest's most famous buildings to move on to our next adventure.
Hi, I'm Juliana Portelli, and I'm a junior at WashU.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Whitetek, and I'm a junior at WashU. Hero Square, pronounced Hozok Teri in Hungarian, is one of the major plaza squares in Budapest and is noted for its iconic statue complex, featuring the 7 chieftains of the Magyars, a famous statue commemorating important national leaders, and houses the Museum of Fine Arts. We also visited the Vajdahunyad Castle. It was built in 1896 as part of the Millennial Exhibition, which celebrated the 1,000 years of Hungary since the Hungarian conquest of the Carpathian Basin in 895. It also houses a Museum of Hungarian Agriculture, the biggest agricultural museum in Europe. We also saw a mountain-like monument in the city park which was built for the memory of the 1956 revolution, a controversial monument that is fiercely hated by right-wing conservatives. The design is an interesting abstract representation of the uprising. This hourglass, called the turnwheel, is one of the world's largest hourglasses with glass granules as sand. The sand runs out on New Year's Eve and is then turned 180 degrees so a flow of sand can resume for the next year. It was built in 2004 to commemorate the historic enlargement of the European Union that admitted Hungary to the Union.
On the second night of our trip to Hungary, we went to the Balloon Glow, held in honor of missing children. Over 19,000 young people went missing in 2015, and a balloon was released for each one. Thermal baths are a popular tourist attraction in Hungary. The natural thermal springs allowed the Romans to create spas with baths varying in temperature from 4 degrees to 40 degrees Celsius, and we enjoyed the baths on several occasions during our stay.
Hello, I'm Brock Workman, I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Emily Weber, and I'm a junior.
And I'm Adrian Levitt, and I'm also a junior.
Budapest presented us with an incredible array of unique and delicious foods. One of the staple dishes was the Hungarian goulash, which is a stew-like dish full of vegetables, meats, and seasoned with delicious spices like paprika. We were able to enjoy homemade goulash at the Pince Party. Another personal favorite dish of mine was a special steak served in many restaurants. This was topped with a hearty slice of foie gras, which is soft goose liver that is full of flavor. The very reasonable prices meant that we could eat as much as we wanted and fully enjoy the unique tastes that Budapest had to offer.
If you want a one-stop shop for a taste of Hungarian culture, the Central Market Hall is for you. The market is located on the Pest side of the city near the Danube. The market is a beautiful landmark with intricate, colorful architecture and huge arched windows. The market leaves quite a footprint in Pest, with a total area of over 100,000 square feet. The aisles of the ground floor of the market are filled with Hungarian meats, produce, spices, sweets, and spirits. Entire rows are filled with the famous Hungarian paprika, packaged in charming jars and bags, often accompanied by a pair of hand-painted wooden spoons. The upper level of the market is separated into halves. One half is filled with food stands serving traditional Hungarian cuisine, including langos, goulash, and stuffed cabbage. The other half is filled with shops selling knickknacks and souvenirs.
A thing unique to Budapest nightlife would be their many ruin bars. Ruin bars are old abandoned buildings that get transformed into funky bars. These bars vary in theme, and no two ruin bars will have the same one. They are hot destinations for bachelor and bachelorette parties. These parties can be easily spotted by their weird costumes, customized shirts, or general rattiness. Another part of our trip was the brewery tour. After a long day of lectures, we traveled to the brewery. Before the tour began, we were able to walk around and look at some of the artifacts and history of the brewery. We were then given a quick presentation, blew into a breathalyzer to ensure that no one pre-gamed the tour, and began. We saw the various parts of the brewing process, and at the very end, we even got to sample some of the beers that are brewed in that very factory.
Hi, my name is Mark Blumenfeld, and I'm a junior here at WashU.
My name is Amanda Lee, and I'm a senior.
Budapest's unique blend of old and modern architecture makes the city a feast for the eye. Here we'll introduce to you our favorite 6 architectural styles in Budapest. Gothic architecture saw the creation of soaring arches to draw the spirit of man up to heaven. Its characteristics include the pointed arch, the ribbed vault, and the flying buttress. Examples of the Gothic and Neo-Gothic buildings we visited include Matthias Church and Fisherman's Bastion.
Renaissance architecture is characterized by geometric symmetry and is based on classical architecture styles. The St. Stephen's Basilica and the Hungarian State Opera House are examples of Renaissance and Neo-Renaissance architecture.
Baroque style originated in Rome in the late 16th century, when the Catholic Church launched an overly emotional and sensory appeal to religious themes through art and architecture. It emphasizes colonnades, domes, and use of light and shade. Both the Sichnid Baths and the Royal Palace on Castle Hill are built in Baroque style.
Classical style architecture is derived from Greek and Roman architecture and usually contains elements such as tall pillars and ornate trims. Examples of classical architecture that we visited include the Chain Bridge on the Danube and the Hungarian National Museum.
Romantic architecture stresses the aesthetic appearance. This is also the time of the Industrial Revolution, and the exploration of structure, such as the use of iron, begins. Budapest's most beautiful Romantic-style building is definitely the Great Synagogue in Dohan Street.
Art Nouveau-style architecture was popular around the turn of the 20th century and is characterized by asymmetry and ornate decorations that incorporate natural themes such as flowers. We experienced Art Nouveau at the Hotel Galère and at the Litz Academy of Music.
Thank you for watching, and...
Architectura!